All right. Hello. Did you just do my accent back to me? What a racist way to start my set. Welcome to LA, Chris. It is good to be here, aside from the xenophobia. It's good to be here. I do actually live here. I've lived in LA for a few years, actually. I got fully vaccinated here. Don't know if you've got any other fully vaccinated people. Got my proof of vaccination cards. This is going to sound weird. Did anyone else, when they got their proof of vaccination card, expect it to look more like proof? All I'm saying is that Blockbuster, they at least laminated my card, you know? It's hilarious to me that there are some anti-vaxxers out there who think the government are putting microchips in our arms. I'm like, based on this, mate, I don't even think they know how to use a printer. Do you know what I mean? Vaccine's written in biro on here. So yeah, I'm very assimilated to LA now. Very assimilated. I'm owner of a tiny dog. Very LA, you know, one of those little, looks like a real dog got hit by lightning on Mario Kart. I have a tiny dog. And recently, I had to take him to the vet. Now, I'm new to owning a creature, so I'm new to going to the vet. And now, here's the thing about vets. You guys might have already known this. I used to think vets were like these experts that just knew everything about animals. But if you don't know, I've discovered what happens with a vet is you pay them a lot of money, and then what they do is they guess what might be wrong with your creature. You go in there and they're like, it could be a number of things. I'm like, yeah, that's why I brought him to you, to get that number down to one thing. And they're like, if you want us to do that, he has to get an X-ray. I'm like, how much is an X-ray? And they're like, think of the biggest number you've ever thought of in your life, and then double it. That's how much an X-ray. I'm like, how is an X-ray that expensive? Surely I could just spend like $50 on a Spirit airline ticket, get to TSA, put my dog on that little conveyor belt thing. When he goes through, take a photo on my phone. That feels like a cost-effective solution. They're always trying to get more money from it. Every time they're like, I go in, they're like, has he had dental? Has he had dental? I'm like, unless he's come in on his own, he's not had dental. Last time I looked in his mouth, he didn't have tiny doggy Invisalign. I don't think he's had dental. So I'm like, how much is dental? And she goes, let me print out an estimate. She hands it to me. I'm like, $1,500. She's like, hey, that's the maximum. I'm like, well, what's the minimum? She's like, $1,300. I'm like, don't hey $200. I thought you were going to go, hey, $8. That's what I thought you were going to say. I go, why is it so expensive to do dental? And she's like, well, because we have to put your dog to sleep. And I'm there going, I thought you knew loads about dogs, but I'll tell you about mine. He is like asleep 22 hours of the day, so just nip over any time, really. Let's save some money. And I'm like, and she goes, the thing is we have to get a very well-trained anaesthetist because you have a small dog, and if it goes wrong, there is a small chance he might die. And I'm like, well, what if we don't do the dental? She's like, well, he could get gum disease. And I go, and then what? And she's like, well, then there's a small chance he might die. So I'm there going, can I get the free small chance he might die? Because if I pay for it and he dies, I've accidentally hired a doggy hitman I didn't want to hire. Blood on my hands. So the reason I took him into the vet, and it's good. It's just changed. There was did you ever see anyone take a dog to the vet during the pandemic? That changed, didn't it? Before the pandemic, it felt like a legitimate thing. In the pandemic, he used to just go and hand him over to a fucking stranger in a car park like it was the weirdest drug deal of all time. So someone accepts multi-poos as payment for their gear. I took him in, and the reason I took him in, I don't know if it was my dog, as I was walking him down the street, every few yards, he'd freak out and sit down, freak out and sit down, freak out and sit. So I take him in, and I tell the vet, he keeps freaking out and sitting down. She goes, right, if he keeps freaking out and sitting down, let me just ask you one question, right? Did he used to have a lot of hair recently? I was like, oh, it's weird you say that. He used to have loads of hair like 5 days ago, but it's the summer, so we got it all cut off. And she went, all right, tell you what's happening with your dog. If he keeps sitting down for no reason, and he used to have a lot of hair recently, your dog, I think, is suffering from, and there is no more medical terminology than this, from a breezy butthole. When she said that, I said, can you repeat that and let me record it on my phone this time? Because it is not every day a medical professional diagnoses your creature with a drafty anus. That just doesn't happen. And apparently this is a real thing. I don't know if you guys know, this is a real thing, where your dog has loads of hair blocking that area and you shave it away and the wind goes up there, it freaks them the fuck out. And I have never felt more connected with my creature. Because I once waxed back there and afterwards it felt like I'd left a window open during a hurricane. It was awful. Before I go, I have a dog and I'm married. No chill, I'm married. And I don't think I've got married people in. Saturday night, probably a few married people. Very happily married. Few years now. Before I got married, I'd never heard this, but the day I got married, I heard this phrase all the time. Every day I'd hear on my honeymoon, happy wife, happy life. You guys heard, happy wife, happy life. I heard it every day on my honeymoon, and I've been thinking about that a few years now. I hear it all the time as you get married. Happy wife, happy life. And the longer I've thought about that phrase, the more I've realised it makes so much sense, doesn't it? But I realised the reason it makes sense is because I realised only men need a rhyme to remind themselves to bring joy to the person they've decided to spend their life with. Women don't need a rhyme. They're just nice because they're nice. Women aren't like happy groom, happy womb. They don't have a rhyme. You guys are awesome. My name's Chris Martin. Have a good night. Cheers.